Hello JavaScripters, Bruce here with a follow-up video on arrays. And this particular video is going to cover arrays within arrays, okay? And let me just walk you through the HTML quickly, and then I'll go in with a deep dive. The doc type, of course, all this stuff up here, I think you know and you should know. Then I print out on line 8 in H1. And ignore the word challenge here for a second, because I am gonna challenge you. I'm gonna ask you to pause the video and try to code something. The next thing I'm gonna do is put an ordered list tag out here, and then I have a script block. Okay, remember we're learning here. Not sure you'd stick script blocks in the middle of your code like this, but hey, just know that you can, right? And on line 12, I'm defining an array called student, and in each element of the array, I have another array. Okay, if you look here on line 13, we have another array, Joey, male, web dev, with a phony student ID, and then Andre's information, Amy's, Bruce's, Tucker's, and Bella's. Okay. So what we need to do, right, is we need to iterate through the students array, okay, one element at a time, and that's going to be, this is going to be the first one, the one on line 13, and then the one on 14, 15, etc. Okay, so after that, okay, we need to loop through each element. So I say var I equals 0. And then the condition to check for is I less than students.length, right? Are we iterating through, each element in the array? Okay. Did we reach the end? Okay. That's what this is checking for here. And then we're going to increment the value of I when the condition here is true, right? So on line 21, I am writing out the list element, right? The list item, tag. Okay, and then I loop, right? So we got to be careful here, right? So check it out. Here we have for I equals 0 to I less than students.length. Okay, that's iterating through these elements here, these elements, right? These are the array. Okay, we're not iterating through each element in these inner arrays. We're iterating through each element in students. Okay, now once we have the element we want, right, this first one here, or the second one, then we need to do something, as you see on line 23, which is going to say, hey, write out the student sub I, okay, student sub I, which happens to be this array right here, but then we need to write out each element of that inner array, Joey, male, web dev, his fake student ID, and this is the way we do it right here. It's also covered in your textbook. And then we're going to append on here a comma, but you'll notice, right, when I go to run this code, we're going to have a little problem. Well, not really a problem, but more of an aesthetic problem, okay? So after we end the inner loop, we're going to close the li, and then we're going to loop back and, do our stuff for each element in the students array. Okay, so let me just make sure I saved it. It was saved. Open it in the browser, and here you go. Okay, as you can see, list of students, challenge, Joey, he's a male, web dev, and phony student ID. But notice after each at the end of each line here, we have that comma, right? And that's not too cool. I know you can all do better than that, right? So that comma is coming from here because we're not checking to see, right, if we're on the last element, right, of that inner array. So my challenge to you is to pause the video at this time and figure out a way to modify this code here to not display the comma at the end. Okay, so I'm going to put the word challenge on the screen right now, and again, give it a whirl. Okay, I'll wait here while you try to do it. Okay, well, hopefully you took the challenge, and I have my modified code up here. Okay, it's pretty much the same, except I added a condition here. I added a condition that said, in the inner loop, I said, hey, if j is less than student sub I dot length minus 1, okay, so am I dealing with something that's not the last element of the inner array, Okay. Then I want to write out the element on line 23 with a comma. However, if I am right at the last element, right, then I want to write out document.write students sub I sub j, the way it is on line 25 here, right? So it's saying, hey, if j is less than the length minus 1, right, which is going to be anything from, this Joey, male, web dev, then it's going to execute the line on 23, else it's going to go to the code on line 25. So I hope you were able to do that little challenge, and if you have any questions, see me on Slack. Have a great day.